Have you ever felt tired? Not because of work, but because your mind just won't stop talking. Maybe you keep thinking about your past mistakes. Maybe you worry about your future, your job, your bills, your family. Or maybe you lie in bed at night and your thoughts just keep running in circles. If you've ever felt trapped inside your own mind, this story is for you, because once there was a man who felt exactly the same way until one meeting changed everything. This is his story, and maybe it's yours too. Once upon a time in a small town near the hills, there lived a 27-year-old man named Karan. From the outside, his life looked simple and calm. A steady job as a clerk, a small home, and decent health. But inside, Karan was exhausted. His mind never rested. He kept replaying things that had already happened. Arguments, regrets, mistakes. And when he wasn't thinking about the past, he was worrying about the future. Money, work, loneliness, his parents growing older. Every night, his thoughts followed him like shadows. He couldn't sleep, couldn't relax. It felt like he was carrying a mountain in his head. One day, his friend said to him, "Karan, you should visit the monk who lives near the waterfall. People say he helps those who can't find peace." Karan didn't believe it at first, but the weight in his heart was too heavy to ignore. The next morning, he decided to go. The path was long and quiet, surrounded by trees and birds. After hours of walking, he reached a small hut next to a crystal-clear waterfall. The sound of water filled the air, calm, steady, soothing. Outside the hut sat an old monk, washing a clay pot with slow, peaceful movements. Karan bowed and said, "Master, my mind never stops. I'm always thinking, always worrying. I just want peace. Please help me." The monk smiled gently. "Come with me," he said. He took Karan to the riverbank and handed him a small empty basket. "Pick up some pebbles," the monk said. "One for every worry that comes to your mind." Karan began picking pebbles. He thought about his past, the mistakes, the failures, the things he wished he could change. He picked more pebbles. Then he thought about his future: money, job, loneliness, fear. Soon, the basket was full and heavy. The monk looked at him and said softly, "Now carry this basket and walk up to that tree on top of the hill." Karan nodded and began climbing. The path was steep. Every step made the basket feel heavier. His arms ached, sweat covered his face, but he didn't stop. Finally, he reached the top and dropped the basket to the ground, exhausted. The monk, who had quietly followed him, asked, "How do you feel, Karan?" Karan breathed heavily. "Tired. It felt like I was carrying a mountain." The monk smiled. "That basket," he said, "is your mind. Each pebble is a worry, a regret, a fear. You've been carrying them every single day. No wonder you feel so tired." Karan looked down at the basket, understanding. The monk said, "Now throw one pebble away." Karan picked a pebble and threw it down the hill. "Now another," said the monk. Karan threw another and another. Each time he did, he felt a little lighter. Soon, the basket was empty. The monk said softly, "Peace doesn't mean you stop thinking. It means you stop carrying what doesn't belong to this moment. When you let go of unnecessary weight, your mind becomes free, like the sky above us." Karan stood silently, feeling the wind on his face and the sound of the waterfall below. For the first time in years, his mind was quiet. He realized peace was never far away. It was simply buried beneath the weight of his own thoughts. He bowed deeply and said, "Master, now I understand. Peace doesn't come from the world outside. It begins inside, when we finally let go." The monk smiled, his eyes full of kindness. As Karan walked down the hill, the sun was setting, painting the sky gold. His basket was empty, but his heart was full. He no longer carried the weight of yesterday or the fear of tomorrow. He was finally living in this very moment. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and share it. And remember, peace is not something we find. It's something we uncover when we stop carrying the unnecessary pebbles of life. See you in the next story with new thoughts and new lessons brought to you by English Tales Today. Stay calm, stay peaceful.